this airfield played havoc because within 2 weeks of having that airfield, we had a Marine squadron, an Army Air Corps squadron, and a U.S. Navy squadron of airplanes. Guadalcanal was a joint and combined effort. It really was Army and the Navy supporting the Marine Corps, which had the preponderance of forces, but also the Australian Navy was afloat with us, and we had Australian advisors and coast watchers on the ground with us. So when you talk about joint inter-service and combined services of other nations, this was it. So as the Japanese were trying to reinforce this island, our airplanes were wreaking havoc. So you had air battles where the Japanese fighters would come and try and take out our airplanes and vice versa, and then both of us trying to land transport ships to unload supplies and men to keep this island. And that was really a 4-month battle, but it wasn't formally over until 6 months later.
So the San Francisco was a heavy cruiser, 1,000 men aboard. And that meant we had to prepare 23,000 meals a week. And I had a responsibility in that score. I had 3 different types of jobs. That was the one that didn't have any other things to do. You'd be busy day and night taking care of that one. The other one, of course, was the damage control. I was a part of the damage control crew. So in case they needed something, they had a crew to help them. Why me? Well, because I had the keys to all the cold storage and all the storage rooms, because I was part of the supply department. And then if that didn't have enough going on, if there's any kind of a problem going with the military, the medical, then I'm part of the medical department. So you see, I had a lot of things to do, and I enjoyed every minute of it. All of a sudden, headquarters says, torpedoes, torpedoes. And I thought, oh my gosh. And I looked out over the water, and there in front of my feet, about 20 yards out, a torpedo went flying by in the front. Good Lord Almighty. And then the third one was coming, and the third one was aimed right at the San Francisco, and the San Francisco was literally parked. It couldn't maneuver out of the way. And so they expected that is going to be disastrous. Well, what happened, I didn't know that torpedoes, they'll go in a straight line, but they also go up and down. They're adjusting. So when it came to San Francisco, God bless it, it moved down under the ship and came back the other side. And it plowed into the Juno, right into their magazine. And the Juno exploded straight out of the water, and I watched it. And junk came flying off in that place onto our ship. It did hit one man. Therein was the 5 Sullivan brothers and 650 other men killed in that 1 minute. And that's how that all happened. So when you think of the Sullivan brothers, the 5 of them, Waterloo Highway, they were aboard that ship. And there's another little part of this too. When they first started, they come across their supply officer, no, their medical officer from the Juno came over to help us with all the wounded we had, and 3 corpsmen came along with them. They all bitched about it. They didn't want to come on San Francisco. They wanted to stay where they were. But I tell you what, when the Juno blew up, they turned around and they must have fainted, because they still think about watching that ship that they just got off blow up out of the, and that ship blew up right out of the water, and that tipped over, it sank. Anyway, thank you for that extra moment.